PLC Network here with another unboxing, this time coming from the company Audeze. And Audeze has a new pair of headphones out there for you that's kind of targeted for gamers and music and movie listeners alike, and bringing kind of like multiple worlds all together in terms of hardcore gaming, 3D audio, and high definition listening, or hi-fi. And what these are their new Mobius over-the-ears planar magnetic headphones. And we have them here today to show you what they look like, what all comes in the box, and then of course we'll have a whole story about this later on at plcnetwork.net, where we're going to give you deep details on what we feel about it, what we think about it after we've tested it out. They are three-dimensional sound headphones, making use of Waves NX technology, which is really cool. Now, we've covered that in the past with another pair of headphones briefly. We never actually got the story out because they never quite made it. We won't mention the company or the model or anything like that this round, but they're still working on it. Meantime, or in the meantime, Mobius headphones by Audeze have scored exactly what the other headphones were trying to accomplish, which is pretty cool. Again, these are planar magnetic headphones, and they offer multiple different types of connections. You have USB connectivity, analog connectivity, as well as Bluetooth connectivity using some of the latest Bluetooth codecs. But for now, let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside of the box, see what they come with, and then we'll go into a little bit further detail on what they're about. Now, this is not the actual packaging you're going to see if you actually bought these online right now or in store. That package is going to look like this. And way cooler than this. This is more of just kind of like before they actually do mass shipping of these products, or of these headphones. But what you see here is what you should be able to get in the box. And you have this really cool carrying case from Audeze to carry the headphones with. It's a semi-hard shell, kind of still a soft shell, but a nice, tough, durable case, which is cool. And with it, you have some documentation. And I believe that's the only thing that comes in the box. Now, they have additional accessories as well, including a headphone stand that you can purchase. They're optional. I think it's like $30 or $25 or something like that. So a cool little stand in case you're a gamer and you want to keep them close to you at the computer at all times. But that's a whole nother topic there. So inside of the case, now you're actually going to like these. We did. These headphones are pretty slick looking. They're a two-color tone for the most part, outside of the gray Audeze logo on top. It's mostly black with gold accents throughout. Nice little pattern on the back that almost mimics kind of like having a grill back there. But these are closed back headphones, so they're not open or anything like that. They're filled with buttons and little icons all over the place. You have your Waves NX logo that's on the inside right here. And you have some other bits and pieces here, like left and right are labeled directly on the inside of the cuff here, as well as inside of the muffs. You have Mobius, that's right here on the back. And you have really nice, soft faux leather muffs here, as well as cushioning underneath for the top of your head, at least just in the centered section right here between my two fingers. All three of these pads are, or at least the two muffs and the head pad, are really comfortable, which is cool. And these do feel really good on the head. When you place them on, originally they do they might be a little bit tight. You might want to kind of, give them a little stretch a little bit ahead of time. Put them on a shoe box or kind of a box and let them sit there for a day or two and kind of get a natural form to the size you're looking for if they do feel tight. If they don't, then they're going to sit on your head real nice without slipping off. They're very customizable. You have, not only are they really super flexible, just like you would find in like the Bose Quiet Comfort headphones, they are also, quite adjustable. So no matter what size your head is or what kind of preferences you have, you should be able to get a nice, comfortable fit. Now, like I said, these have multiple different connection types. You have digital and analog, and through the digital, they provide two different cables. You have a USB, the headphones themselves are USB Type-C, so you have a USB Type-C cable that goes to USB Type-A, which is a regular USB connection. The connection also has a USB Type-C to Type-C cable for laptops. Some of the new modern laptops that don't have a normal USB port, they at least have a USB Type-C. And that's going to be a lot of these smaller, thinner profile type laptops, including some of the MacBook Pros, that may not have a full-size USB port. You also have an analog connection right here, so you're able to do analog audio, so in case you don't want to use them for digital, you can just go analog to any device, especially if that device does not support USB. But if it does support USB and it's not a laptop, it should still work. So if you have a mobile device like a phone, any kind of a flagship modern smartphone these days typically has a USB Type-C connection on it, except for Apple, of course, since they don't like to play with everybody else. But you're able to connect these to that as well and use them as a digital connection between this and that mobile device, tablets and everything else alike. You also have Bluetooth connectivity, so if that device does not have any of these connections, you can still at least do Bluetooth. So you have digital, you have analog, and you have Bluetooth. And with Bluetooth, you have LDAC, which is really cool. You have multiple different codecs, including SBC, AAC, and what I just mentioned, Sony's LDAC codec, which with these, they support up to 990 kilobits per second. So you have a really nice data throughput there without too much compression. Although Bluetooth, you're still going to get compression, so it's never going to be as good as analog, at least thus far. But what you're getting with these is a pretty high throughput, which is going to sound really good for Bluetooth. So that's very important when you're listening to hi-fi music formats like DSD, FLAC formats, and other lossless formats. Of all of these connections that you have on these headphones in terms of analog and digital, the digital connections through USB, the USB-C or USB-8 connector, you can have multi-channel audio. It shows up in Windows, for example, without installing anything just yet, as an 8-channel source. And you have a software to download from Audeze, which is going to allow you to crack into all of that, some customization of the 3D audio, which we'll go into in a moment. But with the USB connection, you have multi-channel audio, and technically you're not really limited to just 2.1 and 5.1 and 7.1, although that's the only options you have at the moment. But they're saying that with Waves NX audio, you're able to open that up to just about any configuration or position of audio that you can imagine in terms of your listening. So you could have a normal multi-channel experience, or maybe go Atmos or other object-based formats using these headphones, because like I said, technically they can put the sound coming from anywhere. So your customization is pretty open on these. If you're choosing to go Bluetooth or analog, you are limited to stereo sound. So you're not going to get full surround sound or anything like that, but you're still going to get the 3D audio, at least, of positional audio, which again we'll get into in just a second. But we're going to continue to go through some of the actual buttons and everything that you have available on the headphones themselves. Now, the right muff doesn't have any kind of buttons or connections or anything like that. Everything is located on the left muff. And on the left muff, you have two different volume controls here, allowing you to control the audio separately from what you're listening to and what your microphone is picking up. And the microphone is optional. It doesn't have to stay connected at any point. You can take them off or take it off just fine. But that microphone has a nice firm gooseneck to it that looks like it's going to keep its shape pretty well. It's nice. It's lightweight. But you have also the option to push these two dials in to use them as a clickable button, which allows you to switch between profiles like stereo and multi-channel audio and so forth. You have a 3.5 millimeter connection here, which is that's for the analog connection for devices that don't support digital. You have the USB-C connection, which is for charging the headphones as well as connecting them to, using the two different USB type cables to any device you want to listen to. You have the microphone connection, where the port where the microphone plugs into, and then you have a 3D audio button. Now, 3D audio, in the sense of Waves NX, shouldn't be confused too much about multi-channel. Now, surround sound is one thing. 3D audio here, it takes your surround experience, let it be stereo or multi-channel, to a whole new level. And this is where I was mentioning this was attempted on another pair of headphones once, and they haven't quite made it to the market with the headphones just yet because they couldn't get the software to work. But these guys did. Audeze was able to get this to work, and this 3D button here, what this does is it unlocks the ability to go beyond just multi-channel, but to also lock in, your listening experience to a specific soundstage that doesn't move per se. So normally when you're listening to your headphones, even if they're multi-channel, if you look right, your center channel is now in front of you in this direction. If you look left, your center channel is way over here now, which might be what you're looking for. But with Waves NX 3D audio, it actually tracks your head movements. And what's really nice is it's integrated into the headphones themselves. So when you look right, your center is still right here. If you look left, your center is still right here. So it recreates more of a natural listening experience. So if you're watching a concert or something and you want a specific direction that you started with to be your center stage, that's going to stay there. You can look right, you can look left, you can look up, look down, anywhere you want, and that sound is going to track and stay exactly where it was to begin with, which is really cool. So that's where Waves NX takes your surround sound experience one step further with head tracking, and with what they're referring to in terms of this button is 3D sound. So pressing and holding this button down, or pressing it once, we'll say, actually, will recenter it. So if it falls off of axis for some reason, or you're goofing around, and you want to just reset it, like you've moved positions over here and now you want this to be your center spot, you press it and it's going to recenter it to wherever you're looking. If you press and hold it down, it's going to turn off or switch between manual control and auto control, where it's going to try to do that automatically, and of course off, where it just sounds like a normal pair of headphones after that. Lastly, you have two buttons right here, one switch actually, and one button. This actually turns them on. If you have them plugged in analog, then they're just going to be analog pair of headphones. If you have them plugged in USB or Bluetooth, you have to turn them on to be able to enable the headphones, or else they're not going to do anything. And then up here is just a switch, a hard switch for muting the microphone that's plugged into it, in case you don't want anybody to listen to you at any point. But that's it for connectivity. But the important part, we're going to go back to the whole 3D sound again, which makes these really cool, is that Waves NX 3D audio. Now, they are working on updates to their software application. They have Waves NX integrated into the headphones by default, but the software allows you to dial deeper into the headphones and set up a user customized profile. So this includes the shape of your head and other user preferences and different modes of the headphones, such as controlling their volume, checking on the battery life of the headphones, as well as other customizations. The software, again, it's available for Windows and Mac, I believe, but the Mac version might only be in beta at the moment. They are working on that. They're trying to get both Windows and Mac to have equal opportunity there in terms of function and control. So beyond that, they're just a really good pair of headphones. If you're not looking at the 3D aspect of things, these are a really nice pair of planar magnetic headphones. Each driver is 100 millimeters in size, and they sound absolutely terrific. Now we'll go over and we'll go through the cables real quick, just so you can actually see what those look like. Like I said, you have an analog 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter cable. You have a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, and USB Type-C to USB Type-A. So these are for your digital. This is going to give you multi-channel audio. This is for analog devices. It's just going to give you stereo, and then Bluetooth gives you stereo as well. They offer 10 hours of battery life, and the pads on these are replaceable. So in case they do get worn out or anything like that, you can replace them easily without having to buy a whole new pair of headphones. So beyond that, we're going to take a look at the very last portion here, the documentation, which is really something they do really well at. Since these headphones do have a lot of features going for them, they want to make sure that you understand what you're buying into. So you have your safety and warranty information, which is a very thick and informative manual here in multiple different languages. You also have a little quick reference here that just talks about the headphones themselves in terms of all the connectivity and the buttons, how to turn them on and turn them off using that button on the side, as well as set it into pairing mode for Bluetooth connectivity. It shows you that the connection is for charging and for digital connection to your computer and so forth. You also have a button breakdown in terms of each and every button and what they do, the volume knobs, and scroll versus click or double click to control the track you're listening to, and to control the various different DSP modes of the headphones themselves, and so forth. And then you have the Traveler's Handbook to the Mobius Universe, which is also in multiple different languages and extremely informative in terms of getting you to understand and get to know your new pair of headphones. So again, these are Mobius headphones by Audeze, and they're terrific, and we're going to have a whole story about this at POCnetwork.net later on once we've really gone through some additional testing on these. But so far what we've seen, we like these. They sound really good, and the head tracking is amazing. Audeze did a terrific job on this. The tracking is extremely accurate and really creates a good soundstage. And the software, once you download it, that'll give you additional features in the future in terms of customizations, of emulating the room you're in or want to be in, and so forth. So go check it out at POCnetwork.net. Once we have that review, we'll have that posted for you, as well as links where you can find it, and we'll have some links in the description of this video as well, including a link to the product if it's already available. If not, maybe we'll try to fit something in there. But again, plcnetwork.net for the full story. And as always, we thank you for watching. If you liked what you've seen here, don't forget to subscribe below. We'd love for you to follow us. We have many, many, many other videos and so many more to come. And of course, there's the comment section down below as well in case you want to interact. But for now, again, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.